Hey hi hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So, Blackpink are my ultimate favorite group and we all know that, right? Many people who stumble across my channel therefore automatically assume that I love every single song they ever put out, and I would never dare to say one of their releases is bad. In response to that, I'm ranking every single one of Blackpink's 24 songs right before Rose's solo is released, which I will be posting a separate video about on Friday, so make sure to subscribe to not miss it. Without any more unnecessary talking, let's get into it. I feel like I complain about this song every chance I get, but it is by far my least favorite by them. As much as it stands out concept-wise, and is definitely unique, compared to Badass, Dark Side they go for now most of the time, it sounds extremely outdated. I can probably give that to the fact that it is tropical house, which was popular in like 2017 during summer or something like that. In a way they were before the rest with releasing this in 2016, but that's really all they did. If you ask me, it's not timeless and that's the main problem. It was cool back then, but now it just sounds like something we've all heard too much of and moved on. This track gives into the electropop and EDM heavily, with a bit of trap incorporated into it as well, which tends to work for them and their image very well. It did work in a way with Kill This Love as well, but the main problem isn't the genre they went for. Everything about it is rushed, feels forced and tries too hard to appeal to the Western audience. As Teddy said in their documentary, they always tried to make the next best thing, instead of something meaningful, and Kill This Love is a prime example of that. Trumpets in the background have been done before, and the rest of the song follows Teddy formula, so you're left with nothing exciting, which made the song fall flat for me and many others.
I'm sour candy, so sweet and I get a little angry, yeah, sour candy.
Blackpink's long-awaited collaboration with Lady Gaga, and if I'm being nice here, I can say that it is underwhelming at best, messy at worst. This is a song off of Lady Gaga's album Comments, so it makes sense dance pop is more prevalent than we usually see in Blackpink's discography. It is what's Western music industry friendly and what you mostly hear on the radio. We can't blame her for not adjusting the sound to featured artists. I'm just not sure this is the sound that suits Blackpink well. Their voices don't blend with Lady Gaga's in the slightest, and although during their parts electropop is heard, it's not nearly enough to be familiar, and I'm not really vibing with it.
How about we leave this party? 'Cause all I want is you up on me.
Another dance track with a bit more of electropop, since it is Blackpink's track, featuring Dua Lipa. Although it is a bit better than Sour Candy, it's not by a lot. This suffers from chronic I'm trying to appeal to as many people as possible syndrome, which isn't always bad, but in this case it is. The chorus is repetitive, Lisa has like 3 lines and there is nothing exciting or different about it. It's just not Blackpink and a big disgrace to their whole discography. It's extremely popular for many Blackpink fans to complain about how underrated this song is, and how it is one of their best, if not the best B-side. I'm not trying to shit on your taste at all, you do you, but I don't understand the hype. It's just a typical K-pop song every other girl group could be singing as well, and it would be just fine. You can tell it's produced by Teddy, since it includes some hip-hop influences, which are dear to his heart, but once again it just doesn't sound like Blackpink. It doesn't have that excitement their songs usually have. It's just there and that's it. It exists and I wouldn't mind at all if it didn't.
Looks so good, yeah, looks so sweet. Hey, baby, you deserve.
Another collaboration and another song that just fails to perform. They really thought that if they give us a Pink concept, we will just eat up whichever song came with it, regardless of the quality. This is I think the first time we meet a mix of electropop with bubblegum pop, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. Not for Blackpink at least. I can see what they tried to achieve with this, but they went for it in all the wrong ways. It's repetitive, focuses on Selena way too much, and is messy in its structure. It almost doesn't have a chorus, and I get, being experimental is a thing, but you have to make it good. This just wasn't, except for Lisa's rap honestly.
Chillin' like a villain, yeah, rah rah rah, me
Another song that couldn't help it, but be behind on every single trending pop at the time. It was released in 2018, but feels like something dragged out of 2015 or something. Once again we can explain it with the element of BOOMBAYAH, which is a fusion genre of house music, which is another one of those things that were good back in the days, but everybody is over today, and has been for years. Even K-pop left it behind in like 2017, which really tells you how out of style it is. It's fun to listen to, and has a typical K-pop song structure, so I can see why some people enjoy it, but for me it's too predictable.
But you'll never know unless you walk in my shoes. You'll never know.
This is one of the rare songs in Blackpink's discography that was not produced by Teddy, and it's very noticeable. Instead of trying to be the next best thing, it's simply a pop ballad about empathy and patience we need to navigate through life. It feels extremely personal, although none of the members even stepped close to the song at all. It's magical, beautiful, and nostalgic, making it possible for every person to relate in some type of way. It's just not the type of song you would listen to often, and therefore I'm putting it this low. I think what most people are attracted to in this song is the slight hint of softer rock and the layering of the production, which we literally never hear in Blackpink's music. Combined with hip-hop influence, once again it makes up for a pretty good track, which isn't anything groundbreaking, but nonetheless gives a regular listener something refreshing and different. I personally find it repetitive and underwhelming in a sense that it just doesn't change much throughout the song. It's stagnant, and that can be okay in some cases. It just doesn't work for this one. Everybody's favorite title track. No, I'm just kidding. Most people either love this song to death because it makes them emotional and nostalgic, or they forget it exists on a regular basis. I'm the second one, as you could probably figure out. Pop songs with intimate acoustic-based folk arrangements, also known as folk pop, just aren't my thing, and I never listen to them inside or outside pop. Although I think it is better than just a regular pop ballad, because the production tends to offer more in terms of combining a bit of a less sad melody with sorrow in the back of it. It's not just for me personally, but I can appreciate it any day. Debuting with a full-on EDM track back in 2016 wasn't very common, since this trend really took off in around the end of 2018, more into 2019. This is also one of the reasons why it instantly gathered huge amount of attention. This is a genre of music I feel like people either love or are sick of completely. There is no in between. I personally vibe with EDM quite well, although it's not my preferred genre of choice. BOOMBAYAH is very in your face and loud, at certain points messy. I wouldn't classify it as general public friendly, but it very well did the job of establishing Blackpink's badass, I'm better than others image, and I think that's really all it was meant to do. I don't intentionally pull this one up, but if it comes on shuffle, I bop hard to it. Especially Jennie's rap is so good here.
Click clap, bada bing, bada boom. When it bop, tell me more than I, bada boom. Something about me's taking you higher, and you.
Who would have thought that a collaboration can get this high? Nobody. Not even me, to be honest, before I started making this list. But here we are. Cardi B is one of the rappers I do not, and will never support, because of many reasons, but her verse on this song wasn't bad, and she fitted it well. You could feel this wasn't who she truly is, and it was all pulled down a few notches, which is understandable. It's a strong pop song, which sounds familiar to most of us, even those who aren't regular listeners to Blackpink, because it has a lot of element taken out of typical radio music, which can throw some people off. I personally enjoy it, although I got tired of it over time and now I rarely ever remember it exists. Still not a skip by any means though.
내 옆엔 초라한 빈
Most people listen to this song and instantly label it as a pop ballad, but it's actually not. If you listen very carefully, you can sense very soft rock kind of element incorporated all throughout the song. It is mostly covered by beautiful arrangements and many sound effects, so you can hardly even notice it, but it's there just enough to not make this just an everyday, boring ballad. It's touching and emotional, yet the rock instruments give it power and strength, which I think is what sets it apart and therefore way higher on my list than the other two slower songs they have.
I went crazy over you. Over you.
Crazy Over You is a hip-hop influenced song with rock guitar sounds and a bit of that retro feel. Although that would easily throw me off, since retro anything makes me run away as fast as possible. I'm obsessed with this song from the first to the last second. It does in certain aspects take you to that 80s retro vibe that was such a trend in 2020, but it's overflowed with modern, hip-hop element, which are nothing new for Blackpink's music and Teddy as their main producer. It's rich in production and full of surprises. It might sound predictable at first, but the chorus throws you off the rails into the unknown and I absolutely love when songs are able to do that. Yes, I admit it. The similarities in composition between Solo and Sunmi's Gashina are striking, and I can't help but notice it every time now, since I've been made aware of it. I just can't help but still really enjoy it. Pop songs with influence of hip-hop suit Jennie a lot, and other songs where she tends to shine the most, considering she is also a rapper, not only a singer and therefore can be able to showcase her raps over a hip-hop beat. Although it falls flat mostly in the chorus and fails to keep listeners' attention for much longer after that, it's still a strong piece that's cohesive with Jennie's image, as well as Blackpink's overall sound. I very much enjoy it. The only Pink concept that was done right in Blackpink's entire career. This was my first comeback ever with them, so it has a special place in my heart, and I admit I'm a bit biased towards it. I can't help it, but vibe with synth pop, which keeps the song rather fresh and up to date. Some people love to say that it sounds outdated and something dragged from 2015 once again, but that's probably because it has house music element included in the production, as well as a tiny bit of reggae, which is almost unnoticeable. It's definitely an extremely easy song to listen to, and can cheer you up instantly. I'm not going to deny that I love darker concepts for them more, but this was one hell of a good time. We've already established that electropop is the #1 and most prevalent genre in their discography, which is why I'm not surprised they released Don't Know What to Do already on their first mini album ever. They fully dropped themselves into electropop and showed it in all its glory that it can be, if done correctly. I think this song was done correctly, and it's one that stays on your mind. Not only does it have amazing choreography by the way, it's also easy to listen to, and has a nice flow, which electropop songs usually have. I enjoyed a lot, and would love to see more songs like this from them in the future. The song that should be the title track, instead of BOOMBAYAH. I said what I said. I absolutely live for the hip-hop influence, which is extremely strong on this track, and complemented with some type of subgenre of electronic music, which gives it all these fast break beats, as well as heavy bass. I think it's called drum and bass. I'm pretty sure, but not completely, so definitely check if you're interested. Random small breaks before the chorus hints or the next verse arrives make the song dynamic, and I'm not complaining about it in the slightest. It works in all aspects, and I'm in love with it since day one. If you ask me exactly why this is so high on this list, I literally don't know the answer to it. It has everything one might hate, such as typical K-pop production and Teddy formula. But it somehow works so well. It's one of the most powerful songs I think I've ever heard, and I need to give them props for that. It's mainstream friendly, hands down why it was the song which opened them doors to the American music market and Western audience in general. People absolutely ate this shit up, and I 1000% get it. Although I'm not the one who tends to love what's trendy, this one just did it for me.
See you later, boy. See you later. See you later, boy. See you later, later. See you later, boy.
Another song, which I can't justify the place on this list of. It's a typical K-pop songs, nothing special, nothing mind-blowing. What I think strikes my attention the most is the execution, especially from Jennie. The attitude, as well as strong vocals by the other members really bring this song together. It could have been better if there was more layering done in the production, since it would make it more dynamic, but I still really enjoy it as it is. It was fully made for Jennie and there is no denial possible here. Trap is something Blackpink tried before, but only as a subgenre, which was covered by other arrangements anyways and barely noticeable. But on Pretty Savage they used it fully, in combination with rap and pop, to make it into this amazing, powerful masterpiece. Once again it sounds familiar enough to a general K-pop song, to not be outputting, but it's so unique, because of the trap, that it manages to stand out as one of their strongest pieces of work to date. Each member got to shine in her own, with her own abilities, which only showed how well they work together as one. If you say you don't like this song, you're just lying to yourself. I hope this is the sound we can hear more of in the future, and since it went really well clearly, I'm sure trap will be more present as we go on.
How you like that? You gonna like that?
Most of you want to eat me alive for this, but I don't give a damn. This song slaps, and considering it's once again trap, with influences of pop and hip hop mixed, it can't be anything but a whole bop. It's just how it is. I really never noticed how dear to my heart trap is, until the album dropped and it all made sense. It's something expected from Teddy, knowing his background and music he was involved in during his time as an artist himself. It doesn't leave the Teddy formula completely, as well as it still seems a bit of a try-hard to appeal to as many outside Korea as possible, but other than that, it's simply perfection in my eyes. Fight me. Love to Hate Me showcases a new side to dance pop. A calmer, more laid-back side, with still powerful arrangements, and hidden heaviness somewhere in the back. The absolute highlight of the album and their best B-side in my opinion. The first time around it didn't impress me, but after a few listens it grew on me to this point. As we've already established, dance pop isn't something I tend to go for, so this isn't surprising. I'm glad it's this high on my list now, because otherwise I would have been missing Lisa's most iconic rap, which lives in my head rent-free.
Love to hate me, you hate to love me, I'm taking back what you've taken from me, you mistaken honey.
Is anyone surprised at this point? I don't think so. Lovesick Girls wakes up a huge nostalgia in me, which makes sense, considering it's one of the very rare tracks on the album, which include electropop, that was so prevalent during their previous eras. It's also mixed in with a bit of EDM, which prevents it from suffering the being dragged from 2015 syndrome some of their other songs have. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm glad most people enjoyed it as well, because otherwise you all would be missing on something great. Anyways, this is all I have for today's video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave your opinions down below and subscribe, because I post K-pop related videos twice a week. I'll see you again very soon with a brand new video. Bye bye, I love you all so much.